I've always been a massive fan of the Harry Potter movies. I've sort of read some of the books. I haven't read them all, but I've read kind of half of the books. I think I'm halfway through four, but I've always been a massive fan of this franchise. I love the movies ever since I was younger and watching them. I've actually been to Harry Potter Land, and today I was just in humour to actually talk about Harry Potter. So if you've seen these movies, amazing. If you haven't, why haven't you watched these movies? But anyways, let's actually get started talking about these movies. There's 10 of them, so let's go. Just one quick thing before I get started with the ranking. If you're interested in other movie reviews and rankings like this one, I also talk about The Walking Dead every week, so that's the kind of stuff you're interested in. Consider clicking that subscribe button so you can see all that new stuff that's coming out, as well as like a big backlog of stuff there, so that's the kind of stuff you're into. Click subscribe. But with all that said, let's actually get started with this ranking. So coming in at last place, or number 10, I got Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald. Now, I haven't seen this movie since the cinema. I seen it twice in cinema. As you can see, I have the steelbook. Now, the only reason I have the steelbook is because I have got Fantastic Beasts 1 steelbook. And in my mind, I got to have both of them in steelbook. Like, I've got Deadpool 1 and 2 in steelbook just because 1 and 2. Same with the Creed movies. I have It Chapter 1 steelbook. I've already pre-ordered Chapter 2 steelbook just because I've got to have it. So that's the only reason I have the actual second movie in steelbook, because I have no ambition to go back and watch this movie. I didn't enjoy it the first time at all. Like, I went to see a double bill of 1 and 2, so I was really excited after coming out of 1 then going to 2. I was so let down with this movie because I was expecting a lot. They had Dumbledore in it as well, which I was really excited for. We got to see Nicholas Flamel for the first time, who I was really excited to see what he's actually like, because we never actually met him in the movies. So I was kind of intrigued to see what that was going to be like. But this movie was very bogged down. I didn't really enjoy it. Like, it was kind of a chasing movie where everyone was trying to chase some people, but no one actually caught up with themselves. And it was very predictable. Like, the whole Queenie twist, I seen come from just looking at the posters. The only reason I got from the posters, because all the character posters, they were all facing one way except Grindelwald and Queenie. I'm like, you know what? I think she's going to go bad. Which she did. And I don't think that was anticipated. I don't think they were trying to hide that in the posters. But I got that pretty easily. As well, there's a scene in this movie where there's about 10-15 minutes where everyone's revealing their backstories all at once, which does not work in a movie. I think she does this in the books a lot, but it works in the books, but it just doesn't work in the movie form, because everyone comes up like, this is my backstory. She goes, well, this is my backstory, and it comes in with your backstory as well, and it just kind of bogged it down a lot. As well, though, Newt Scamander is great in this movie, as well as, I don't know, I can't remember his name, but Dan Fogler's character, he's very good. They have such good chemistry in this movie, which kind of helps it a lot. Jude Law, I think his name is, who plays Dumbledore, he is very good in this movie as well. I think Johnny Depp does an amazing job in this movie. I really like Johnny Depp. Like, coming out of the first Fantastic Beasts movie, hearing that Johnny Depp was cast, I was like, oh really, got him as Grindelwald, and seeing his look. But he did a great job in this movie. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Johnny Depp in this franchise, just because I actually really enjoyed his performance in this first movie. And coming in at number 9, I've got Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Now, this movie I used to be my least favourite movie, but then Crimes of Grindelwald came along. But this movie, it's a lot happening, and it's unnecessarily a lot, because it's the second to last movie. So this movie should be setting you up for the final, but it's just shoving a lot at you, and a lot of it isn't very important. It's ridiculously dark, where it's like, in some scenes I actually can't see anything, and as well, just, they're like, I know it's the big wizarding world is building up, but they're still kids. They should have a bit of enjoyment, but there's just no enjoyment in this movie at all. I don't really like to watch this movie. It's one that I never tend to put in. Like, if I think about a Harry Potter movie, I either like want to put the first or the second one in, or even the last movie. There's other movies in this franchise, but I never ever think about watching Half-Blood Prince, because I just don't really find it an enjoyable movie. Voldemort is barely in this movie. There's just so much in this movie that I don't enjoy. Like, the whole Half-Blood Prince mystery that they set up throughout the movie, it's kind of a letdown. Like, it's kind of, I never knew who it was Snape. But when the reveal came, I was like, oh really, that's all it was. I was expecting someone bigger to be, even though Snape is a massive character. I just thought it'd be someone bigger and even better to have as a huge Half-Blood Prince. I haven't actually read the book. I don't know if the twist is better in the book, but it's such a letdown, this movie, that it really put the movie down for me a lot. As well, Dumbledore's death, I actually kind of enjoyed. When I was younger, I thought the only reason that death happened was because the actor died, and that's why, because like in the first two movies they recast him because he died, so I thought, oh, maybe the actor died and they just kind of killed off the character just because of that. But now I know it wasn't. But just Dumbledore's death was handled very well. Daniel Radcliffe's reaction to seeing his death was really hard to see, just like it was in Order of the Phoenix. This movie, it does have enjoyment elements, but I overall don't like it more than I actually like it. And coming out at number 8, I've got Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Now, from this point onwards, are all movies I watch on a regular basis and absolutely adore. But this one is probably my least favourite out of the ones I absolutely adore. There's many things about this movie I enjoy. I love how young the kids are and how like you see the relationship of them bonding and growing. I love how Harry and Ron really have to step up a bit when Hermione's not there. I love as well, of course, how could you not like love Lockhart? Like, look at this smile. Oh my god, how could you not love that smile? But also, with this movie, they have a mystery in this movie like they do in Harry Potter and Half-Blood Prince. But unlike that movie, I love the mystery in this one of like, who is like Tom Riddle? Who is opening Chamber of Secrets? What is in the Chamber of Secrets? And I love how the mystery is solved. Like, last time I watched this movie, it had been like a year or two or since I first like last seen it. And I knew how it was, but I forgot how everything was solved. So it was like I was going along with them for the first time again. I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed it. Draco Malfoy, as always, is kind of an ass in this movie. We get introduced to his father, as well as Dobby, who is... I love Dobby. But his father goes to kill Harry at the end of this movie, which is completely insane. But this movie itself, it's one I do rewatch a lot now, ever since, like, as I said, I hadn't seen it about a year or two. I think it was a couple of months ago, but now I tend to watch it a lot because I actually adore this movie. It's kind of hard. I do enjoy the first one a lot as well, but these are like the peak Harry Potter. Like, this is when Harry Potter was Harry Potter and nice and friendly. This is like, from this point, this is after this movie is when it goes from not kid movies anymore. Like, the first two are very much kids movies, but after this movie it doesn't, like, after this movie gets very dark. And coming in number 7, I got Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Now, this movie is very enjoyable. I do enjoy lots of elements to it, but probably the biggest thing about this movie is it's very slow. Because a lot of it is forest stuff, so, and as well, because it's a Part 1, it is kind of setting up the sequel. And because it's a Part 1, they kind of have Part 2 to have all that big and interesting and epic stuff. So Part 1 kind of feels a lot slower than Part 2, which is bound to happen. But this movie does still have a lot of great moments. Like, I love Harry and Hermione when they're in the tent, they're just dancing. Like, it's the one moment of joy they have in this miserable life they're going through, because they're just living in tent and tent. And the way Ron goes, he leaves in anger and he comes back to save Harry, I absolutely love that. And how they're walking around with the necklace on, as you can see there, and they're just, you can feel the anger coming from them all, which is pretty insane. How angry they're getting, how especially Ron cannot take this anger at all. And then we actually go back to Godric's Hollow, where Harry grew up, and we see his house, and we see this, well, Nagini's there in a woman's body, and that used to creep me out. When I was younger, like, big time used to creep me out. As well as the opening scene in this movie, when Nagini's coming down, and he eats the professor of Hogwarts. I'm like, oh jeez, that is horrible to watch. But as well, this movie has got some very, like, heartbreaking moments, like the death of Dobby, which every time I get see the scene, I always get really upset, because I absolutely adore Dobby. He's such a nice character, and just to see his death in this movie, the way he died, it was very sad, but he got to do, like, as he says it, he's with his friend Harry Potter at the end, and it's very heartbreaking, but you can see the joy in Dobby's face that he is literally with Harry, that he adores. As well, we get to see, I can't remember his name now, the guy who makes the wands, I can't remember his name, but they get to see him in this movie as well, which is really good, especially because John Hurt is now dead, and I love John Hurt, but when I see him, I see Doctor Who now. I don't actually see, I can't think of his name, honestly God, but still, this movie does have a lot to give, but it just also is a lot slower than the rest of the movies. And coming in at number 6, I've got Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I absolutely adore this movie. This is a movie I've always loved it. Like, of course, it was the first one I seen, but the day I seen it was snowing outside, I had chocolate, and I watched Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I think that's probably the best way anyone could ever get introduced to this movie for the first time as well, because it does have a very Christmassy vibe, this movie does, and it's very kid friendly, so anyone can watch it at any age, because it's just such a good introduction to this world. And it does start off really, like, as you can see, it's PG, and I looked, this and Chamber of Secrets only PG movies, and then they got 12, but like, it's really, like, any age can really watch it. I can't see a problem with anyone watching it. I think all the casting in these roles were perfectly, from the kids to the adults, all phenomenal. Like, all the kids do a phenomenal job. Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson all do a great job. Everyone says Emma Watson's ahead of them. I don't really think so. I think they're all on the same level. I think she does get ahead of them at some point, but they're all on the same level at this point, and they all just do a great job, especially because they're acting up against stuff that sometimes isn't even there. Like, they're acting up against a big, huge, the troll, and that wasn't fully there. That was kind of half electronics and everything. So the fact that they're acting so well against that, it's really good. You got the end scene with the Philosopher's Stone and Harry and Voldemort down below with Professor Quirrell. I loved that scene. I always thought it was so weird how Harry, like, knowingly put his hands on his face trying to kill Voldemort. not killing him, but he knew he was doing it, but he's an 11-year-old boy who went to kill someone, and no one ever says anything about it, because like Professor Quirrell disappears after this. People, I don't know if, I can't remember if people knew that it was Voldemort, like if they actually had that public knowledge, but they'd be like, where's Professor Quirrell? And like, oh, Harry killed him. Like, that never got mentioned again, which is kind of odd. But as well, like, Snape, absolutely perfect casting. I love Alan Rickman in the role. When I see Alan Rickman though, I do see Die Hard. I don't see Harry Potter, and everyone always gets mad at me for that, but that's who I see. I don't see Harry Potter as well. Maggie Smith as Professor McGonagall, absolutely phenomenal. I love this movie. It's one it's one of my most rewatchable ones. It's one that if I sat down and was playing, I would have no problem with it. Sometimes I'd even go, oh, can we go back to the start, because I love this movie. And coming in at number 5, I've got Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This movie does have a lot of elements that aren't enjoyable, but overall I really enjoy this movie. Like, you got Mad-Eye Moody, who does get introduced in the movie, I absolutely adore. You get the kind of proper introduction of Voldemort, where he comes back from the dead. Well, not sort of dead, but he comes back from being a weird little baby thing. It was so creepy. I remember my brother being terrified of the scene. Like, whenever it came on, he had to leave the room, because he was just absolutely terrified of this scene. As well, we got actually David Tennant in this movie. He's not in it for a lot, but he's in it for a small amount, and I love David Tennant. He's Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who. David Tennant's just great in this. You see the kids are getting more, like, you could see them growing as actors, and they're just getting a lot better. And this is a movie where their hair is just ridiculously mad, like, which in the books, like, they describe Harry's hair as untamable, and this is the only movie where it actually feels untamable. Now, everyone always gives out about how Dumbledore says to Harry about the Goblet of Fire. I always thought it was kind of hilarious, because, like, it is kind of funny.
Harry, you put your name in the Goblet of Fire.
But besides that, the tournament itself, I've always really enjoyed it. I love all the different elements to it, where it goes from being the dragons to being underwater, and then being inside the maze. But my always problem with it is, like, how are they watching this? Like, what is the enjoyment of people, like, going and watching this? Because, like, I get the first one, they can see the dragon fights, but then the second one, it's underwater, they can't see it. I don't understand that. And as well, the last one, it's literally in a dark maze. How can they see it? So people, like, going cheering their way in, and they're just gonna sit there waiting for an hour for them to come back out. It doesn't really seem like an entertaining sport. But at the very start of the movie, we get to see the Quidditch World Cup. I would love to see a part of the Quidditch World Cup. But what we got to see the intro of, like, everyone coming there, and we got to see Voldemort's people coming, like the Death Eaters. I enjoyed that. I thought it was so creepy, especially when they see them marching through with their mask on. It's extremely creepy to see. But there is a lot of this movie I really enjoy. There is stuff I don't enjoy. It's like the Dio Ball I enjoy, but I also think it's so cringy. Like, I enjoy it. It's not that I don't like it. I just think it's incredibly cringy, and sometimes it's kind of hard to watch it. And coming in number 4, I've got Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Now, this movie, it used to be my number 1, but slowly it's just come down a bit. I don't know how. I don't know why I've grown to love these other movies more, because I used to adore this movie. It used to be my favourite, like majorly my favourite, like, a lot. But this movie does have a lot to give. Like, I love the death of Sirius Black. I love how Harry's reaction to it. I love to see the impact it has on the rest of the series, just because how heartbroken Harry Potter was. As well, I love how Harry actually steps into a leadership role in this movie. In the first 4, he's kind of like stepped back and he's kind of being told what to do. But this movie, he starts Dumbledore's army, and he just grows from that point on. And that's where you see him fully become a leader and take responsibility for everything. And I adore. He's teaching everyone how to fight. Like, he teaches everyone everything he's learned in the past 4 years that not everyone else has been learned. You see Harry and Snape kind of grow stronger, and they kind of get closer, just because they're like, Snape's trying to teach Harry how to not let Voldemort inside his head. So that works a lot. You see Dumbledore's probably biggest epic moment when he puts his hands up and claps, and it gets away with Fox Phoenix. As well, we get the introduction of Dolores Umbridge, who is a bitch. I feel bad for this actress, because I know it cannot just be me. Whenever I see her, I'm like, oh, that bitch is in this movie as well. I know I can't be the only one who's like that. I just hate Umbridge so much. Like, I once put a poll up on my Instagram, like, who's worse, Voldemort and Umbridge, and she won, like, a lot. I think she was like 88%, and then Voldemort was 12%, which I was surprised. I knew she'd win, but not by that much. I think it's because everyone's got Umbridge. Everyone's got a teacher or a boss that they absolutely hate, where no one's got a Lord Voldemort. Someone who's trying to kill them, but everyone has got a Dolores Umbridge. And coming in number 3, I've got Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I love this movie. I love how different it is. I love how we're seeing the wizarding world from an adult's perspective, and it's just a great way. Like, Newt Scamander is probably one of my favourite characters inside the wizarding world. We've got, like, his kind of gang of pals are pretty great, as well as all these creatures inside the case they're so unique, and we've never seen anything like them in the wizarding world. So it's good to see all these creatures that they kind of maybe have spoken about through the books. I don't know, I haven't read them all. Like, I just love seeing all the creatures. I love the creature designs as well I only got to see this movie. I got to see this movie back before when Crimes of Grindelwald came out, right at the double bill. So I haven't seen the first one to the second one, which was pretty great to see 1 to 2 because I was meant to see it 1 years ago in cinema, but I was going to see it with a girl. I thought we were going as mates. She thought it was a date. I panicked, cancelled, so I never got to see it in cinema until actually getting to see it in the second time. But I was so amazed because I actually didn't see it for years. I kind of said, I'm not really bothered with this. I think I seen it about 6 months before the second one came out, and I was kind of blown away at how much this movie was really, really good because I wasn't really expecting much. I heard it was good, but okay, I might get to it eventually. But I never really cared. But after watching it, I'm glad I seen this. I want to see the sequel, like number 3. Go back to this. I want it to be good. I don't want it to be crap like number 2 because I really don't like number 2. But this movie is such a fresh idea. They brought such new creative characters, and as well, it's just seeing New York, seeing something different than London. I thought it was great. Just because the different way the world works as well. It's in the 20s, so it's like different as well. It's just a lot different. It's not like a copy. It's not a copy and paste from the Harry Potter movies, which was good. What's kind of the problem was with Crimes of Grindelwald. They were just kind of taking all these Harry Potter stuff out of the movies, Harry Potter movies, and put them in this movie, just to try and make it more Harry Potter like. But I thought Fantastic Beasts was perfect by itself. I think this would have been a fine, just one and done movie. I don't think they actually needed to do the Crimes of Grindelwald continue on. I thought this just one movie was just perfectly fine as it was. And coming in at number 2, my runner-up is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, most people probably have this as their number 1, but this movie, even though I adore it, it's never been my favourite. Even when I said, Order of Phoenix used to be my favourite, this never was up at number 1. It's always been 2 or 3. I just never had it as my favourite. I understand why people do have it as their favourite because it is a great movie. It's beautifully shot. It's beautifully directed. Everything about this movie is great. It's just never been on that top tier for me. We get introduced to 2 brilliant characters of Lupin and I can't remember his name, Sirius Black. 2 fantastic characters. We get the introduction of the Dementors, which are creepy as shit, and every time I see them I just feel cold inside, just like the characters would. It just feels cold whenever they're on screen. It's just this movie, we just see more of the wizarding world, especially we see more of the adult stuff coming into it. Like the first 2 movies, it was mainly focused on the kids, but now it's this one's kind of going into, let's bring some of the adults into it and see how they're reacting to all this. And we have Voldemort and all being spoken about a lot more in this movie. We get the great scene at the start when Harry makes his auntie grow massive as well. We get the night bus, which is probably one of the best scenes in this movie. I love the night bus. I would love to actually go on. I was in the Harry Potter Wizarding World in London. I was on the night bus. We didn't get to go up it, which was kind of disappointing, but it was pretty cool to actually be physically inside the night bus because this is one of my favourite props from the movie. So to be able to go inside it was pretty awesome. But there's a lot of this movie that it's very dark, especially if you go from 1 to 2, it's such a big tonal shift from going because especially because the first 2 were kind of shot back to back, so they're very bright and happy, and then going to this movie we get new Dumbledore, which kind of shows the darkness going because he's a lot dirtier and he's a lot more out there than the other Dumbledore. I prefer this Dumbledore. It's just he's a lot more than the other Dumbledore. So it kind of shows how dark these movies get. From this point onwards, they just get darker. At the end of this movie, I don't really like the way it's Harry. I get he's flying off from his friends and showing how Harry will be by himself alone. But I think it's a bit weird how it freeze frames on Harry's face. I just always thought that was a bit odd of a way to finish this movie. And number 1 is it's gotta go to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. This movie brought everything they brought up from all of the other 7 movies that they brought up to such a high peak. And it just knocked everything down. It's such a brilliant ending. I couldn't imagine this movie going any other way because I just thought this finale was absolutely fantastic. Seeing all these characters we've seen, some of them literally from the first movie, being killed in such heartbreaking ways. You feel your heart literally be breaking throughout this movie. We see Lupin die. We actually get to see Fred die as well. And as well, you actually see the death of Harry Potter. He doesn't die, but you get to see his death. You get to see everyone's reaction to his death. You used to get Hagrid carrying him back, and I don't know how I haven't mentioned Hagrid throughout this review or this ranking because Hagrid is my favourite Harry Potter character. I've always loved Hagrid. He's just such a nice warm character. I've always loved him. We also get to see Hogwarts, Hogwarts, the safest place I hear it say in the world, or it's the safest place, but the safest place get knocked to the ground. I always thought that was such a great way to symbolise this is the ending of this this franchise. Seeing Hogwarts come down, you get to see McGonagall do that spell she does when all the rocks come down to protect Hogwarts, and she says that brilliant line, "I've always wanted to do that." Just Maggie Smith just being such a nice, warming presence. You could feel the warmth coming from that one line. You get to see the little battle between Snape and McGonagall, which is absolutely fantastic. Seeing her take back to school to make the school back and happy. I always thought it was a bit weird how, like, I understand the Dark Lord and everyone being there, but I always thought it was weird how she never stood up before that. She waited for Harry Potter to come back, and then she gets that nice little line to Harry, like, it's good to have you, because McGonagall was always kind of like, she was so strict on Harry, but then to see him, like, see her reaction seeing Harry, I always loved that reaction, to see how positive he was. As well, to seeing the ending of Voldemort, seeing Harry and Voldemort going toe to toe in the courtyard, and they're just waiting. Harry's just waiting for, like, Ron and Hermione to kill the basilisk. I'd get the, I think it's the diadem, and stab it with the basilisk's fang, and then seeing Neville finally chop off Nagini's head, and then Harry doing the final thing on Voldemort is phenomenal. I thought this was a perfect ending. I love this movie. It's probably the most rewatchable of the movies, because I just love, I don't know, I love endings. I love seeing things actually ending and seeing the characters progress to see where they've gotten. I love, like, to start to finish. I love having a conclusive, like, story. So to see this is how the Harry Potter franchise ends, to see how happy, just see everyone, like, they're all so tired. They're obviously sad that all the people have lost, but to see how happy they are that it's finally over. I absolutely adore this ending. And then seeing the Harry and Ron and Hermione walking out on the bridge, Harry snapping the Elder Wand, throwing it over, and he's we don't need it. And then we get the 19-year later time skip, which I didn't know was coming. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. And we get to see them actually sending their kids off to Hogwarts, showing that Hogwarts is once again a safe place. Harry and all his friends are safe. Everyone's happy in the Wizarding World. They're all safe and happy, and showing what the three of them have done to just make this possible. I know they've had help, but they were the three we were following throughout this entire franchise. Like, you see Ginny there, and then they just kind of cut Ginny out as they just focus in the three friends, and I just think it's a phenomenal ending, and I don't think they could have ended it any better. So that's my ranking of the Harry Potter movies with the Fantastic Beasts movies. Let me know what your ranking is down below, or even just let me know what your favourite Harry Potter movie is of all time. I'm sure everyone's going to have different opinions, because this is a very popular franchise with all mixed opinions. Like, everyone thinks their movie is the best movie. But anyways, I just click subscribe if you want to see other rankings just like this one, and as well reviews. And as always, thanks for watching.